of the Syracuse Industrial Development Agency. I'm going to call the meeting to order and start with a roll call of the Board of Directors. I'm Kathy Murphy.
Ricky Brown. Ken Kinsey. Dirk Sonneborn.
Thank you all very much. Proof of notice was properly served for this meeting. First order of business is a review of the minutes included in our packet for our review of our last meeting held December 9. Any comments, corrections, or concerns? If not, is there a motion? Motion made by Ken. Second? Ricky, thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. First item under new business, Sue Kenza, 400 South Salina Street, or the Sibley's Project.
Authority to extend the sales tax appointment for this project. You will recall we closed on this in December of 2021. They have completed some of the build out and tenants are in some of the space, but they have been negotiating with additional tenants to complete the vacant spaces, and they just need additional time to build out those spaces. They are not requesting any new additional financial assistance. They have not completely utilized the sales tax exemption that was awarded because they have not completed the commercial spaces for the tenants to their specs. I do need to note the project description in the resolution that was in your agenda had a mistake in it. This project, when we originally induced it, included a portion of residential units on the second floor, but after we closed on our resolutions, but before we closed on the project, the company came back to tell us that because they had had such a response to the commercial space, they wanted to convert the building to entirely commercial, so they eliminated the residential portion. And just unfortunately, when we drafted this resolution, we grabbed the original project description from those resolutions rather than the amended resolution. Nonetheless, that doesn't change the request that's being made. The original amount of sales tax exemption awarded was an amount not to exceed $1,588,485. They have remaining of that amount $823,191, and they would just like additional time to utilize that for the final build out. They're looking for an extension through December 31st of next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions, comments, concerns? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved to approve by Dirk. Is there a second? Second, Ricky. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next item, 250 Harrison Street. Eric.
Good morning, everyone. So the second request before us today, this is a modification to the original application that was submitted from the applicant 250 Harrison Street, LLC. If the board will recall, this was a project that the agency approved in July of 2024, earlier this year. It's a project that involves the conversion of an existing 6-story office building in downtown to add 35 residential apartments. Planning has continued with the project team since the IDA approved the project. The project and the applicant has brought on VIP structures, and there's been greater work going into the overall planning for the project, including greater specifics as far as the construction costs. And one of the elements of the project, as we've understood it, is there is a modification to the amount of sales tax and the expenses that are ultimately eligible for the sales tax. That number has increased from originally what the board approved was $296,000 in sales tax exemptions. That number has increased to $405,232. And part of that was based on the original calculation. There is some updates and additional calculation that was done in terms of the total amount of expenses was undervalued at the time when the project was approved by the board. After going back and modifying those numbers, that $405,000 number is much more accurate. In addition, the project team has continued to work with their lenders and banks, and so one of the other requests before you today would be a modification and an increase in the amount of mortgage recording tax not to exceed. Originally, that number back in July was $67,500. This is a slight increase up to $71,250. That is to accommodate in the event that there is a second mortgage lien that may be placed on the building as part of their conversations with their lender. One of the other elements is that, and we're continuing to work with the project team, which is getting close to the point of intention to close with the IDA and ultimately is looking to start work in the first quarter of next year. So we are getting close to the project formally breaking ground, is that the project has opted to receive a 485A exemption, which is through the City of Syracuse Department of Assessment. That is the ability to convert a commercial building into residential for the first time. And that was found to be more advantageous than the pilot that was approved by the IDA and by the agency. So what that ultimately means is the pilot benefits will no longer be realized as part of this project. So in spite of the increase in the sales tax exemption and the increase in the mortgage recording tax exemption, because the pilot is being removed, that is a net overall reduction in benefits of $1,407,359. So we did include updates to the executive summary. There is a supplemental application that the applicant did submit to really update and refine those numbers. We do have a representative here with us today from VIP Structures as well. So happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Eric. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Any question for Christine, who is here representing the project? If not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Dirk, second? Second by Ricky. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, hidden level. Eric.
Okay. So the agency has a request for a new project. Ultimately, the first step in the request before us today would be to authorize a public hearing. But what this involves, and the applicant itself, is Hidden Level, Inc. This would be a request to establish a new commercial office headquarters located at 300 Spencer Street in the Inner Harbor in the city's lakefront neighborhood. Overall, the request before us would be to establish approximately a $45 million new project that would ultimately result in new commercial headquarters. This is a company that's already operates and based within the Inner Harbor here in the city of Syracuse, but ultimately it would be an expansion of that business. So they would be continuing to operate their current office space while building a new 3-story facility. The project will also result in additional job creation. The company currently has 90 full-time equivalents. As part of this project, the projected job increase would be 100 additional jobs as part of the company's growth and expansion. They are in the uncrewed aerial systems or the drone monitoring and detection sector. Fast-growing company here in Syracuse that is continuing to expand their presence and also has both public sector and defense clients as well as private sector. So we do have representatives here today that are with us from both Huber Brewer, but also from Hidden Level itself. The request before us today would be to authorize the public hearing, and then we would have the applicant formally come present the overview of the project and be able to answer questions as part of the public hearing.
Thanks, Eric. So additionally, we will be lead agency for the purposes of seeker review, which was a resolution in our packet. As Eric said, we have representatives from Hidden Level and Huber Brewer, the contractor. I don't know if anyone wants to speak or add anything at this point in time. There'll be plenty of opportunity at our public hearing, of course. But if there's anything additional, feel free. In the meantime, are there any questions? Oh, I know, one last comment. The project is on the site of the old Bankers Healthcare headquarters that was planned and because of COVID was unable to be completed. So that's the parceling. Any other questions, comments, concerns? If not, is there a motion to, you want to do them separate, Sue? Motion to approve the lead agency resolution for seeker purposes. Ricky, motion made by Ricky. Is there a second? Second, Ken. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the resolution to authorize a public hearing at our next meeting, which at the moment I believe is January 21 of, am I wrong?
Must be the 14th.
Oh,
January
it might be
14th is-
changed,
yeah.
but right now it's scheduled for the 21st in 25. We may have to jiggle that a little bit. Anyway, authorize a public hearing resolution in January for this project. Motion made by Ricky. Second, Ken. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you very much. We look forward to the project. Have a great holiday. See you soon. Next item is an executive session request. I'd entertain a motion for executive session. Prior to that, I would just like to say to those watching, listening, or present, we will not be taking any further new action except to adjourn when we return from executive session. So,
We're going into executive session for the purposes of discussing disposition of property.
correct, sorry, forgot that. Any purposes of disposition of property is the purpose of the executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn to executive session? Motion made by Ken. Second, Ricky. All in favor? Aye.
Do you think our
Shall
cookies are
return.
safe here, or do we need to take them with us?
I know, right?
You better take those babies.
Take them.
All right, have a great
Bye,
holiday.
Tim. Happy holidays.
See you, Tim. You have a red phone on your desk, Tim?
Yes. I will say he's good to work with.
Where are we going?
Sue's conference room.
We can go to my office if we can all stand around. That's closer.
Wherever you tell us.
Let's go to 7 seats. Yeah, enough. I'll make it work.
Eric. You do it. You got it?
But we're coming back here.
Yes,
You have to come back here to.
we have to adjourn. Oh, maybe we're done. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
Made by Ricky, second by Ken. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. Motion carries. Have a wonderful holiday,
Happy
everybody.
holidays, everybody.
Thank you so much for everything all year long.
Yes.
And we'll see you in 25.
Appreciate it. See you guys next year.
Yeah.
Do we have to reappoint our lawyer?
Yes, let's take a motion for
Oh,
that.
yeah, let's do that.
Let's see how
Yeah.
Well, I should let him just sneak one out. Yes.